Here in Atlanta, there's a place to think. They give you a missing link to the world that we're in. Have you been? Grab a friend and
head to Atlanta if you're curious.
It's sitting right here for us, where imagination
leads to creation.
So for the duration of your trip,
can we give a little tip? Check out the education that they give on scholarship,
with 1,000 kinds of classes that they give to all the masses.
And they brought a dinosaur!
Can I ask for a tour?
Sure!
And you'll be saying wow, and thinking how is there a world of exploration in our own backyard?
So here's our presentation,
where the Fernbank stars. Oh wow, and even now we're ready to have you to learn and to laugh. You'll discover a door to so much more that lies in store. Welcome to the world of wow. Science and a passion we can't live without. Oh wow, and even now they're ready to have you to learn and to laugh. You'll discover a door to so much more that lies in store. Welcome to the world of wow.
Wow. How about that? Welcome to our world of wow and a Timeless Affair 2020. Our first virtual gala to benefit Fernbank, Atlanta's Science and Nature Experience. I'm Jennifer Grant Warner, Fernbank's President and CEO, and I'm joined today by Fernbank's Chair of our Board of Trustees, Carol Smith. Great that you're here with me.
Glad to be here.
Fun to do this together. And what an opening performance and creation by Jacob Ryan Smith and Zan Barubi. And I loved watching them explore everything that we have here at Fernbank. That's really what we hope to do over the course of this next hour with you, is to give you a better sense of all that we do here at Fernbank across our 120-acre campus, as well as more information about the programs that we do that serve students and kids across our community.
And I want to say thank you to you, Jennifer, and thank you to each and every one of you who have been so kind to tune in and help us help you discover all that is wow about Fernbank. We thank Jake, we thank Zan, when they came to Fernbank and our staff and said, what do you want to show about Fernbank? And we said, we want you to show the world of wow. I think they did that, and I think we're going to do that even more tonight. We're going to show you Fernbank Forest. We're going to show you WildWoods. We're going to show you our exhibits. We're going to show you our animal ambassadors. We're going to introduce you to our Fernbank family, our staff, and everybody that is doing everything every day to make this a positive place for you. We also want to recognize tonight Mary Ellen Imlay, who was our honorary chair, and we want to thank Mary Ellen, and we also want to thank the Isdell Family Foundation and UPS, who are benefiting sponsors. They have come together to help us put on a magnificent Timeless Affair for you. We're thrilled to be here with you, and thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Those partners, Mary Ellen, the Isdell Family Foundation, and UPS, and all of our partners, our donors, our members and guests, they are so vital to Fernbank. You make what we do possible. And I hope you'll join us in supporting those endeavors and help us fulfill our mission to ignite a passion for science, nature, and human culture through exploration and discovery. As we consider the issues that are confronting us today and those that lie ahead in our future, our mission is right in the middle of that. And it is as important and relevant as it's ever been. And I want you to know that our team and our board are more committed than ever to deliver a world of wow across our campus. In fact, on our campus, we have 65 acres of wonder and wow just waiting for you. I'd like to introduce you to my colleague Eli Dickerson, who is our ecologist here at Fernbank, to share more about that 65-acre special experience. Eli, I'm turning it over to you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Welcome to Fernbank Forest. My name is Eli Dickerson, and I'm the ecologist on staff at Fernbank, and I'd like to invite you for a short walk through this old-growth forest with me. Fernbank Forest is a refuge. It's an urban oasis. It's a treasure trove of urban biodiversity. Would you believe that there's been 200 bird species identified in the forest, hundreds of native plant species and wildflowers, including bay star vine, which is a state-threatened species, and other species like pale yellow trillium. In addition to that, we've got 17 amphibian species, including the extremely rare spring salamanders that you won't find anywhere else in Atlanta. We've also got 13 reptiles and 13 mammal species, including river otters, which you might see on a visit down to Hunteman Pond. Additionally, there are 64 native tree species found in Fernbank Forest. Some of these trees are up to 14 feet in circumference and 156 feet tall. This tulip tree is actually one of those species that exceeds 150 feet tall. To put that in perspective, that's just shy of a 16-story building. But the neatest thing about the trees in this forest, in my opinion, is that some of these are in excess of 300 years old, which is simply amazing. You may wonder, how was all of this protected right here in the middle of Atlanta? Well, we have to flash back to the late 1800s when a young woman named Emily Harrison moved here with her family. She was just a teenager when she moved into Fernbank Forest, and they made their homestead here. Previously located in Decatur, they decided to move into this area long before there were other families around. The Harrison family loved this spot, and Emily in particular was very fond of the woods. In fact, she probably knew where all of the big trees were and all of the curves in the creek and big rocks that she could climb on as well. Emily grew into an adult who was still passionate about this forest, and she rallied support to help save and protect this forest because she knew it was too big just to keep in her family. So with the help of citizens in Atlanta, scientists, and our founding trustees, Fernbank was founded in 1939 as a school in the woods to teach about nature. All of this was protected as a school in the woods and a living laboratory, and today we continue that legacy. But one cannot simply protect a forest passively. It's an active process. This forest had become degraded due to many non-native invasive species invading from the perimeter over the decades. So the last 5 or more years, we've worked very diligently to remove these invasive species and then allow the native biodiversity to flourish in the forest. Through that process, we've been able to open up the forest. It's allowed us to do more programming. It's allowed us to have more guests visit the forest and more school children visit the forest as well. Today, this is a teaching forest. We conduct primary research, and we also partner with other institutions for research. But most importantly, we have thousands and thousands of guests and school children visit the forest. We have programs like family forest walks. We also have animal encounters, drop-in programming like ranger explorations, and our marquee school program, the CORE program, where we serve underserved youth, bringing them out into the forest for an immersive all-day experience where they learn scientific techniques and they get to observe wildlife here in the midst of 300-year-old trees in this old-growth forest. Fernbank Forest really is a special place that's dear to my heart, and I hope that you find the time to come visit sometime soon. Thank you so much, and I'll turn it back to you, Jennifer.
Thanks, Eli, for sharing more about Fernbank Forest and our unique and profound legacy. As you now can see, the forest is our reason for being, and it's why we are where we are in Atlanta, and it certainly makes us unique among natural history museums around the world. Across this campus, from the forest to WildWoods to here inside the museum, we bring science to life and we give visitors of all ages opportunities to cultivate their curiosity, their creativity, and their innovative spirit through our programming, which includes scholarship-funded science classes for a diverse audience of students, as you know, Carol.
Absolutely. In the cultivation of curiosity, what better mission to be a part of Fernbank, and what better efforts to be shown by Jerome Roberts, my fellow trustee and of UPS, and Sarah Arnold, who is our Director of Education.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Jennifer. Hello, I'm Jerome Roberts, Vice President of Marketing at UPS. I am a trustee here at the Fernbank. I'm also an Atlanta native and grew up only a few miles from the museum. In the early months of the pandemic, UPS was designated an essential business. This designation was due to the critical service that UPS provided in delivering essential goods ranging from personal protective equipment to essential goods that we needed at home to shelter in place. I'm sure we have all come to appreciate many things that we took for granted that we use and need every day. If you've been to the Fernbank prior to the pandemic during a school day, you probably understand how essential Fernbank is in the lives of children and families. Fernbank's blockbuster exhibitions, inspirational movies, exploratory activities, interdisciplinary programs are important to the education pipeline. Fernbank and UPS share a common philosophy that we must work together to eliminate education inequalities in our communities. We are proud to be a lead partner in many of Fernbank's cultural, environmental, and science activities, including STEAM-powered communities. This initiative places great emphasis on underserved communities. Fernbank's campus-wide initiatives inspire hope, ingenuity, and solutions for a better, more informed tomorrow. Together with Fernbank, we can support the next generation of scientists, creative innovators, and thought leaders who will one day be called upon in a cross-section of sectors, from government to industry to education and public health and medicine. However, your support is essential to help Fernbank continue to deliver on its mission, both now and in the future. Look and see the big difference you can make in the lives of young people in our community. Thank you.
Fernbank is Atlanta's science and nature experience, offering a world of wow to more than 11 million visitors since opening in 1992. During the year, about 60,000 students step off a bus and into Fernbank, and more than half of those students are here on scholarships. In Atlanta, there is a significant financial barrier for a lot of the community to visit the museum, so by providing scholarships, it's an opportunity for many of those students to come here for the first time. Field trips to Fernbank ignite a passion for science, nature, and human culture. Our hands-on exhibits inspire visitors to be inventive and creative. Our giant screen movies transport viewers and connect them to stories from across the world. Fernbank even has a 75-acre old-growth forest in the heart of downtown Atlanta, which is a unique experience for our guests to be able to step outside and see something like a river otter or frogs or salamanders. Science education is important for today's students' prosperity and for everyone's future. Today's students are the future scientists, the future innovators, and we will need their help to answer future questions and solve challenges.
My favorite thing was putting the salt into the vinegar.
What happened when you did that?
It made kind of like an explosion.
The thing that I like about the snake is that when you rub it, it feels kind of weird, but not as I expected it to feel though. I thought it's gonna feel a little bit different.
Is it your first time touching a snake?
Yeah.
So
snakes are my favorite animals.
and it's your first time? That's awesome.
With an increasingly STEAM-based economy in Atlanta and across the U.S., we want to equip them for success. but we sit at a crossroads because low science proficiency is a critical issue in our city and in our state. Without the opportunity to visit places like museums, by the time students reach the end of high school, low science proficiency can restrict their future opportunities. Curiosity is at the heart of science, and we want to spark that curiosity across our community. One of the ways that we can expand our outreach efforts is by taking Fernbank on the road. We are hoping to build a mobile museum that will be our official outreach vehicle. This will allow us to visit more schools, more families, more communities where they are, ensuring that Fernbank is accessible to everyone. The STEAM-Powered Communities Initiative helps us connect with our community in unique ways. Fernbank created a free 2-week after-school program called Science Explorers, partnering with Atlanta Public Schools and Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Atlanta. In this program, dynamic demonstrations and hands-on activities engage students in the sciences. We see a powerful transformation in our students as they become curious and build skills and confidence in science. Through the program, they're learning and often changing their attitude towards science, and in many cases realizing that they are naturally scientists themselves. My name is Sarah Arnold, and I am the Director of Education at Fernbank Museum, and I am a scientist.
I am a scientist.
I am a scientist.
I am a scientist.
How about those kids?
Fabulous.
They are so incredible and just truly lift your spirits when you can be with them and watch them light up and have fun doing science with our folks. It's just incredible. Kids are naturally curious. We want to nurture that in them. They're naturally scientists. We want them to see that it can be fun, discover the world around them, and find those connections as they do so. They are our future. They're the future scientists. As Sarah said, they'll be identifying solutions to the challenges we face and what is yet to come. And I'm always amazed and when I'm reminded of that statistic, that 85% of scientists credit a museum visit with inspiring them to pursue their journey in life. That is such a reminder of the power of the programming that we do.
Jennifer, it's incredible, really. Exposure, exposure, exposure. Science, nature, culture. This is what Fernbank provides to 60,000 students per year from hundreds of schools across the state. And when they can't come to us, we go to them, as you saw in the video. So we are here to help these kids get the exposure that they need so they learn that this is something that they want to do in their lives.
Absolutely. We are very committed to the education of all children and students across our community. It is important that we can make those programs accessible to all, especially as we help close and address that achievement gap that Sarah referenced. It's critical to our mission, and it's critical to serving the needs of this community.
And building the pipeline of experiences at Fernbank is also very important so you never age out. We don't want anyone ever to come in and say, I'm too old for this. We want to continue to have programming so that the next and the next and the next kid who comes in here finds their place in their experience at Fernbank.
Absolutely. You and I need to make sure we can have fun when we're here. But certainly the kids, we never want them to feel that they've aged out here at Fernbank. And last year, we introduced a brand new permanent exhibition, Fantastic Forces. It's geared toward older kids, 10 and up. And like everything else we do, it was designed and created under the philosophy that we remember 90% of what we do. So this hands-on, minds-on STEAM experience gives kids and adults a chance to explore aerodynamics, gravity, plate tectonics, and so much more.
Fantastic Forces is just that. And I did go and experience all that is in Fantastic Forces. And you're going to also get to see Mary Ellen Imlay, our honorary chair, and her grandchildren, Daisy and Ellen, as they get to go in and experience Fantastic Forces. So we hope you enjoy. Could anything be more adorable than Mary Ellen and her gorgeous granddaughters experiencing Fantastic Forces, an event that they actually made happen? I'm blown away by how adorable they were.
And just to see the joy on their faces as they're experimenting in Fantastic Forces. And like you said, it's an exhibition that was only made possible by the generous support of the Imlay Family Foundation, and Mary Ellen herself had a great insights as we were creating that exhibition. I also want to thank our sponsors this evening, because it is through generous support of folks like UPS, the Isdale Family Foundation, the Blank Family Foundation, and PNC, and so many others, that we can present such exhibitions and programming. We hope that those of you watching will also consider supporting Fernbank. Your gift of any size makes a difference, and it helps support our school programs, family enrichment, blockbuster exhibitions, movies, and more. That programming is really at the heart of what we do. It's how we connect to our community and serve our guests. It's how we bring science and nature to life. So speaking of programming, let me introduce you to my colleague who can share more on how that comes together each year. Dr. Bobby Homan is an archaeologist by training, and she also happens to be our Vice President of Programming and Collections. So let me turn it over to Bobby to share more.
Thank you for the introduction, Jennifer. As Vice President of Programming Collections, I have the privilege of working with the Fernbank team to bring stories about the natural world to light through our exhibitions, educational programs, and films. After all, museums are in the storytelling business, not by turning the pages of a book, but through the use of objects and immersive experiences and programs that tell the story of our planet and its many inhabitants, including those from the past as well as the present. Let's face it, we have the best classroom props any teacher could ever hope for. For example, take a look behind me at our Giants of the Mesozoic iconic exhibition featuring Giganotosaurus and Argentinosaurus, along with the flock of pterosaurs flying overhead. Natural history museums are never at a loss for subject matter to explore. Fernbank's permanent collections serve as inspiration for many of our permanent exhibitions, highlighting such diverse topics as personal expression in human culture, the Spanish mission period in Georgia, shells of the world, physics and geology, and the natural regions of Georgia. We also host a variety of films and special exhibitions throughout the year, so there's always something new to explore, whether you're interested in volcanoes, ancient civilizations, wildlife conservation, paleontology, or a host of other natural history topics. These immersive and dynamic programs engage visitors of all ages in creating exciting opportunities for discovery and critical thinking. They also reinforce the many connections between science, nature, and culture, and spark visitors' curiosity and imagination, and maybe even inspire some future scientists.
What would you like to be when you grow up?
An astronaut, a doctor and teacher. I mean, just doctor. Thank you. Like I always
Thank
say.
you, thank you. When I grow up, I want to be a science teacher.
When I grow up, I want to be a scientist.
When I grow up, I want to be a paleontologist.
Why do you want to be a paleontologist?
Well, because I first wanted to do Animal Wars, then I got really into saber-toothed tigers. Then I started to like them. Now I love them, and now I love horses, and I want to be a paleontologist when I grow up.
From the mouth of babes, I want to be a paleontologist. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a doctor. That, ladies and gentlemen, that's the reason that my family and I have been a part of Fernbank and this family for more than 15 years. We've put our resources, we put our time, we put our energy. I've been on the board more than 15 years to help the kids that you just saw in that video. And tonight, we want you to help them too. We need to keep this place running and gunning to help those kids that you just saw realize their dreams. So tonight, when you're thinking about your donation, and to sweeten the pot a little bit, I want to show you something. Sally King Benedict, who is a local Atlanta treasure. She's an artist who grew up here. She attended the College of Charleston and got her art degree there, has donated a limited edition print that she will sign for donors of $1,000 or more, which is a wonderful thing for her to do. And Sally, if you don't know Sally, Sally is in every wonderful magazine showing her art, her decorative pieces. Her gallery showings are incredible, and she has been such a great friend to Fernbank to give this donation for those of you who are willing to part with your $1,000. What a great thing to get for $1,000. Not only that, tonight we will also be auctioning, and over the next few weeks, the original of this print. So Sally has donated this piece of artwork, and we will have this as part of our auction so that you too can own an original Sally King Benedict. So think about it. Think about those kids you just saw. Think about that paleontologist, and think about saying paleontologist at that age, and being a science teacher, and being a doctor, and us helping them realize those dreams.
Carol, thank you for your generous spirit and generous leadership. Talk about leading by example. As Carol just said, she and her family have been engaged here for a number of years. And I know from being around her that it is about the children, and that's certainly what inspires us here at Fernbank. That generosity makes our programming possible, and in turn, that helps inspire the next generation of leaders, scientists, innovators, and problem solvers. I want to share with you one of the stories that shows that impact and helps see what your support can make possible. Let me introduce you to one of our stories.
My first experience with Fernbank was in the 4th grade. I was part of the after-school program known as Science Explorers, and we would get to see special parts of the exhibit, have special animal encounters. I actually had never seen an animal encounter up until that point, and we got to work close by with the animals. Even some animals we actually got to look at under microscopes. There was one occasion where we actually went on a trip through the forest. We got to see some of the wildlife that we found back there. And we were finding insects and birds that I typically didn't see around Metro Atlanta. So I didn't know that you could find these just outside. It just ignited this spark and opened my eyes to the world of wow that Fernbank delivers through science. It really influenced me. I actually still have my graduation certificate displayed up on the wall, and it's been there since 2004. In the 7th grade, I joined the Fernbank Ultimate Naturalist, the FUN program. In that program, I was running the different activity carts. Anytime there's also a big event at the museum, I was helping out with the activities. Telling the kids about the dinosaurs. That moment where I tell them, this isn't a T-Rex, it's actually bigger than T-Rex. And they're like, what? There could be something bigger than T-Rex? All the way up through high school, I was in the FUN program, and then I went to college, where I went to the University of Georgia and got my bachelor's in science in biochemistry and molecular biology. Now, I am pursuing my master's degree in biomedical research at Morehouse School of Medicine. What I love most is cells and the biochemical world within them. That's the level of biology that I'm most interested in. It just makes me so happy. My goal is to pursue my PhD and one day operate my own academic lab.
How about that? I remember meeting Kenya when she was a youth volunteer here. And we knew she was going places, and it just warms my heart to see what she's doing. I want to give you a quick update on Kenya. Since she filmed that piece, she's completed her master's in biomedical research at Morehouse School of Medicine, and she has entered the PhD program there, where she's pursuing her doctorate in biomedical science. Kenya, we wish you all the best, and I can't wait to see what lies ahead for you. And there are more Kenyas that we come across each day here, whether coming in on one of those field trips on those buses that Carol mentioned earlier, or in one of the outreach programs that Sarah spoke of. To see those kids when they're standing under these dinosaurs and thinking about the world that once was, or standing out among those trees in Fernbank Forest. That's what your support makes possible, and that's why the work we do matters here at Fernbank. I hope you'll consider supporting our endeavors in this challenging time and help us make more dreams possible.
Kenya, thank you so much for sharing your remarkable story with us. We are so proud to have been a small part of your journey to the greatness that you are going to achieve. And now, as part of the rest of our journey, as we've mentioned, we want to introduce you to WildWoods. It is the introduction to the forest, and it is the interactive experience that has become such an incredible part of Fernbank. Aliza from our education department will take you on the tour to show you all the joy that is WildWoods.
Hi, I'm Aliza, School Programs Manager for Fernbank's Education Department, here in beautiful WildWoods, one of the unique and wonderful opportunities we offer on our 120-acre science education campus. WildWoods is especially near and dear to me as an educator because immersive experiential education is so important to helping people form connections with the natural world. When schools come to visit Fernbank, WildWoods offers a unique opportunity for students to see ecology truly come to life. Whether they are taking in a squirrel's eye view of the forest along the treetop walkway or exploring one of the interactive exhibits, students are surrounded by the sounds and sights of the life and earth science concepts they've been learning in the classroom. In nature stories, our youngest budding biologists can discover how animals find shelter in their habitat by climbing, crawling, and learning through play. Or get a taste of life as a beaver as they dam, release, and eco-engineer at Creek Run. At Adventure Outpost, upper elementary and middle school students can make connections between their own lives and life in the forest. They can look through the eyes of birds and bugs, discover how weather and climate shape the Atlanta area, and get a new perspective on life in the forest canopy. And in the Candida Education Pavilion, we hold programs like Investigation Ecology, Ranger Explorations, and our Summer Ranger Camps in our outdoor classroom in the treetops. All throughout WildWoods, from up in the tree pods down to the wetland meadow and Isdale Wildlife Sanctuary, all Fernbank visitors get to be students with nature as their teacher. Each season brings new and exciting changes and new opportunities to explore and learn. Special exhibits like Woodland Spirits in the fall or Games in the Gallery in the summer provide more chances for families and schools to engage with nature in this incredible outdoor space. So whether it's a teacher looking to make real connections to classroom curriculum or a nature enthusiast looking for favorite wildflowers, Fernbank's WildWoods is the place to enjoy the wonder of nature in the heart of the city.
Well, you have now explored our world of wow here at Fernbank. I hope you've enjoyed it. But don't leave just yet. We have one more wow for you. Let me introduce you to a couple of special guests. It's my honor to introduce Pam Helms. Pam is an emeritus trustee here at Fernbank. She's been involved here in some capacity for more than 40 years. She cares about education and the environment. It's where she spent so much of her time, both personally and professionally. And we've been lucky to have her be a part of Fernbank. But we have a special guest with our special guest, Pam.
We do have a special guest. It is my sincere honor to introduce to you Ed Helms, Pam's son. Bet you didn't know that. Ed, as you know, was a correspondent on The Daily Show. He was in the Hangover trilogy. He was also very major on The Office. He's an incredible musician, guitar player, banjo player, and just a really great son. And he is going to tell you the stories, along with Pam, of their love and appreciation of everything Fernbank. So let me turn it over to Pam and Ed and enjoy.
Hey there, Ed Helms here. I am so grateful and proud to be on board the Timeless Affair tonight. Thanks for having me. Fernbank asked me to do something fun, like play a song or something, which of course I'm happy to do. But first, I wanted to rope in somebody very near and dear, my original connection to Fernbank in the first place, and that is my amazing mom, Pam Helms. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Edward.
So, Mom, Fernbank has been this this amazing thing in the background of my entire life, but I'd love for you to share your kind of origin story with Fernbank. Where did it all start?
Well, it all started when a friend of mine back in the early 1970s called and asked me to be on the board of Fernbank Incorporated. And she and I shared so many interests in the out of doors and in natural history. I wanted to do it, and I began to see that those people on that board were working so hard that I could tell they were going to really make it work. So I joined the board and spent 20 happy years working with all of these interesting people. And in 1992, Fernbank Incorporated had its grand opening.
Mom, I am so proud of you and everything that you've done for Fernbank. It's just awesome.
Thanks, Edward.
All right, well, now I'm going to play a song for you guys, and this is a tune called Freeborn Man by the late, great Jimmy Martin, and I just love it because it just has such a bright, fun, upbeat spirit, a lot like Fernbank. I was born in the Southland, 20 some odd years ago. I left home for the first time when I was 4 years old. I'm a freeborn man. My home's on my bank. Road, every mile of railroad track. But I carry this old guitar, I carry an old tote sack. I hopped that thing about 100 times and I always get it back. I'm a freeborn man. My home's on my back. I know every inch of highway, every foot of back road, every mile of railroad track. I'm a freeborn man. My home's on my back. I know every inch of highway, every foot of back road, every mile of railroad track. I know every inch of highway, every foot of back road, every mile of railroad track. All right. Thanks again for having me. Support Fernbank. Have a great night.
What a special moment to have Pam and Ed with us as part of this year's virtual A Timeless Affair. Thank you, Pam and Ed, for being a part of this with us.
And thanks to all of you for being with us tonight. We're so thrilled that you could be with us. Hugs to you. Hugs to you.
Hugs.
We love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you make possible.
Thank you. Dankeschön.
Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you. Cảm ơn.
Thank you. Merci.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for supporting Fernbank.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We thank you so much for supporting Fernbank.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Right here in Atlanta, there's a place to think. They give you a missing link to the world that we're in. Have you been? Grab a friend and
head to Atlanta if you're curious.
it's sitting right here for us, where imagination
leads to creation.
So for the duration of your trip,
can we give a little tip? Check out the education that they give on scholarship.
with 1,000 kinds of classes that they give to all the masses.
And they brought a dinosaur!
Can I ask for a tour?
Sure!
And you'll be saying wow, and thinking how is there a world of exploration in our own backyard?
So here's our presentation
where the Fernbank stars allow. And even now, we're ready to have you, to learn and to laugh. You'll discover a door to so much more that lies in store. Welcome to the world of wow. Can't